Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This is going to be one of the best buying opportunities we've seen in a while, so make sure you watch till the end. If anyone is not aware, let me go to this chart, we recently, as in earlier this week, closed our Rivian position in extended hours. We bought in this zone, so anywhere from 978 to 1066, and we sold. Our final profit target was 18.5 exactly. Almost perfect profits. As you guys can see, it pretty much hit $19 before falling. We also had some massive movers on Redfin. We had Ford doing well as well, so a bunch of things going very well this past month. And overall, this whole year, we're still maintaining a 100% win rate on investments, which I think is really cool. Now let's talk about Nike, because this is one that a lot of us have been following for a while because it has been undervalued, but it just dropped 20% yesterday, so on Friday's trading session, because of their earnings outlook. So yes, as we can see over here, they actually did very well on earnings, but their outlook, we can see they're basically going from whatever this is, around 1.00 on EPS, to almost half, so 0.6, which is not good at all. They're basically falling. They're shrinking as a company by 50% in terms of EPS. Now, it is just one quarter, and Nike has done this in the past, and it's recovered extremely well, as we can see right here, especially with these dips on earnings. It kind of goes back up very quickly. But let's take a look at where we should be buying Nike, how much we should be buying of it, and how much we can expect to make, because that's what we all want to know. How much money can we actually make on this investment? So, a couple things to notice here. We have a zone here at around $91 where it tends to spike up from, but that's where it actually fell right through, closer to this zone where we see this massive move, this breakout. So where do we want to be buying Nike? Anywhere from 67.81 to 72.16. That's where we want to be buying a lot of shares, but it's great to start buying now. I'll show you guys in my next video, but I've already started buying Nike, and I have an average of, I think, maybe $77, something like that. So I've already bought a few shares, but we want to really make this a large position with at least $1,000 once it drops into this bottom zone. And that's starting, like I said, at around 72.16. So let's look at some key information that could help us understand how much we'll make from this trade. A couple things we should take a look at is, of course, the 1-year price forecast. So what do analysts say is a fair price target? So the 1 year it has a high of $125, a median of $100, and a low of 60. So worst case, the stock falls 20%, and that would actually be amazing. We'll just get a lower average. That's the worst case. The average analyst is saying it's going to go up almost 33% to $100. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. I wouldn't say we should expect it to go much higher than that within the year. The price target was actually a little higher, but of course, with this drop, they are bringing it down to realistic numbers, like if it is to recover, how high will it realistically go? But 125 also is definitely a possibility. That would be a almost 70% increase in price. That would be huge gains. So with that being said, we definitely want to be buying now, even though we're not in our major buying zone just yet. Now, let's take a look at the fair value. So what do analysts think is a fair value for this stock? And this isn't necessarily for the 1 year, 2 year type of price target thing, but what do analysts think it's worth? Well, currently it has a fair value on Robinhood of almost $130. It's at $129, which is very good because that actually pretty much determines that Nike is currently undervalued. So it's not like, okay, yeah, it's down a lot, but could it go even further down? No, we're already, if we go all the way back here, we're at pretty much 2016 prices. We're at COVID lows, so it is significantly undervalued. The highest ever went was up here at almost $200. We can't expect to see that for another maybe 2-3 years, but I definitely think that's a possibility. And I've already seen some great analogies. For example, like it's basically like an athlete that's not in its prime. However, usually, like let's say with LeBron James, he's not in his prime, of course, right now. He's got Bronny in his team right now because that's how old he is. But unlike athletes, companies can change that very quickly, and they can, of course, pretty much last forever. As long as they do well. So, how can we know that they'll do well? Well, a key example here, or a key factor, is their stewardship. So, how is this company led? The highest possible rating on Robinhood is exemplary, so it goes from like poor, decent, or whatever, medium, something like that, good, and then exemplary. So, this has an exemplary rating. Its uncertainty rating is medium, which is good. Usually undervalued stocks have high uncertainty, but in this case we can see people are still willing to buy this stock now. Economic moat is wide, so they've got a lot of extra cash on hand. We already know that. We know Nike's been around forever. It'll go on for probably another century, to be completely honest, from what we've seen. So yeah, it's at 2016 prices. It is definitely time to buy now, and we'll average in, hopefully, if it can keep falling. I really hope it keeps falling and doesn't just go back up immediately like it did here and here. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Nike's definitely buy, so I will be buying. If you guys want access to all of my stock trades, I'm going to link that in the comments. So you guys can see there's a Discord server where I just post what I'm buying, when I'm trying to sell it, so all my profit targets, and some upcoming trades. So like what do I expect to buy in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and that way you have plenty of time to get prepared, get buying power for that, and all that good stuff. With that being said, thank you guys very much for watching. I would appreciate it if you like this video and subscribe if you're not already. That way I can get monetized, which would be awesome. I'd love to get paid for making these videos. But yeah, have a great rest of your day, guys.